The Harborside Grand Hotel ballroom was decorated exactly how Dad would have wanted it. Understated elegance with a nautical theme. Blue and white streamers hung from the ceiling, and centerpieces featured miniature lighthouses surrounded by seashells. After 42 years with the Postal Service, Thomas Martinez was finally retiring, and Mom had spared no expense on the celebration. I sat at the family table near the front watching guests mingle and congratulate my father. He looked happy, genuinely proud of his career and ready for the next chapter. I was happy for him. I'd always been happy for my family, even when they couldn't extend the same courtesy to me. Is that the same car you've had since college? My brother Derek's voice cut through the ambient chatter. He was standing near the bar with his wife Jennifer, both holding champagne flutes and looking in my direction through the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the parking lot. I followed his gaze. My 2009 Honda Civic sat in the lot, its silver paint faded and a small dent visible on the rear bumper from when I'd backed into a pole 5 years ago. It is, I confirmed, taking a sip of water. Derek walked over to our table, Jennifer following. My younger sister Amanda and her husband Kyle looked up from their phones, sensing entertainment. 15 years old, Derek announced to the table. Elena's still driving the same car from college. Doesn't that just say everything? Say everything about what? I asked calmly. About how your life turned out, he said with a sympathetic smile that didn't reach his eyes. I mean, we've all moved on. Upgraded. Succeeded. But you're still stuck. Mom leaned over from her conversation with Aunt Patricia. Derek, not tonight. I'm not being mean, he protested. I'm being honest. Look, we're all family here. We love Elena. But she can't even afford gas money. That car probably costs more to maintain than it's worth. It runs fine, I said quietly. That's not the point. Jennifer sat down across from me, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. The point is that you should want more for yourself. Derek and I just bought the new Range Rover. Fully loaded. You could at least get something from this decade. Amanda chimed in. Kyle and I are looking at the new Porsche Cayenne. You should come with us to the dealership. Maybe they have something in your price range. What price range? Derek laughed. What do you even do, Elena? You never really explained it. I work in aviation, I said simply. Right, aviation. He made air quotes with his fingers. Like you book flights for people? Is that like a travel agent thing? Something like that. See, that's the problem, Derek continued, warming to his subject. He'd had 3 glasses of champagne and his voice was getting louder. You're not ambitious. You settle. You always have. Remember when we were kids? You never competed. Never tried to be the best. Just existed. Dad appeared at the table, smiling broadly. What are we talking about? Elena's career, Derek said. Or lack thereof. Derek, Mom said sharply. What? I'm trying to help. She's 34 years old and drives a car held together with duct tape and prayers. That's embarrassing for the whole family. My car is perfectly functional, I said. Functional. Derek shook his head. When I was your age, I already had my first BMW. Now I have 3 cars. The Range Rover, my Mercedes sedan, and Jennifer's Lexus SUV. 3 cars, Elena. You can't even afford one decent one. Jennifer patted my hand condescendingly. We're not judging you, sweetie. Everyone has different levels of success. Some people are just more driven than others. The table had gone quiet. 20 members of my extended family watching my brother dissect my apparent failures at our father's retirement party. She can barely afford to live, Amanda added. I saw her apartment last year. Tiny. Like 700 square feet. Kyle and I have a 4-bedroom house. 5 bedrooms, Kyle corrected. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3-car garage. My phone buzzed in my clutch. I glanced at the screen. Asterisk landing in 10. Reynolds needs confirmation on Dubai leg. Sarah asterisk. I typed back quickly. Asterisk confirmed. Have him come inside when he arrives. Asterisk. Are you seriously on your phone right now? Derek demanded. This is Dad's party. Sorry, I said, setting my phone on the table. Work call. Your travel agent job can't wait? Jennifer's laugh was like wind chimes, pretty but hollow. The waiters began serving dinner. Filet mignon with roasted vegetables and garlic mashed potatoes. The food was excellent, but I barely tasted it as Derek continued his monologue about my failures, now directing it at the broader table. The thing is, he said between bites of steak. Elena has always been the struggling one. Remember in high school? She got into a good college but didn't go because of money. Ended up at community college instead. I went to community college because it made financial sense, I corrected. No student loans. No student loans, no degree either, Derek countered. You dropped out after 2 years. I started a business. A business. He laughed. Is that what we're calling it? Elena, you work in aviation booking. That's not a business. That's a job. And not even a good one apparently, given your car situation. Mom looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Dad was talking to Uncle Roberto about fishing and didn't seem to be listening. My siblings continued to pile on with helpful observations about my modest lifestyle. My small apartment, my lack of designer clothes, my apparent inability to keep up. The saddest part, Amanda said, swirling her wine, is that she doesn't even try to better herself. Like, Elena, have you considered going back to school? Getting certified in something? You can't do travel booking forever. I'm not a travel agent, I said. Whatever you are, Derek waved his hand dismissively. The point stands. At some point you need to aim higher. Dad's retiring after 4 decades of hard work. He provided for this family. He bought Mom a nice house, put us through school, gave us opportunities. And what have you accomplished? You can't even afford gas money. The table laughed. Not cruelly, but the way people laugh when they think they're sharing an obvious truth. Poor Elena and her old car. Poor Elena who never quite made it. My phone buzzed again. I glanced down. Asterisk pulling into parking lot now. Reynolds asterisk. I looked up at Derek. You're right. He blinked, surprised. I am. I should aim higher. I should want more. I absolutely should. I picked up my water glass and took a long sip, watching through the windows as a town car pulled into the parking lot, the one I'd sent to pick up Captain Reynolds from the private terminal at the airport. The restaurant doors opened and Captain David Reynolds walked in, still in his pilot's uniform. He was 52, distinguished, with salt and pepper hair and the kind of confident bearing that came from 25 years of flying. He scanned the ballroom until he spotted me, then headed straight for our table. Derek watched him approach. Is that a pilot? Looks like it, Jennifer murmured. Captain Reynolds reached our table and smiled warmly at me. Ms. Martinez, I apologize for interrupting your father's celebration. I know you wanted to enjoy the evening. It's fine, David, I said. What do you need? Your Gulfstream G700 is fueled and ready for the Dubai flight. I need confirmation before I file the flight plan. We have a 10-hour window before the Sheik's meeting, so if we leave by 9 p.m., we'll arrive with time to spare. The table went silent. Also, Captain Reynolds continued, pulling out his tablet, Sarah asked me to confirm which aircraft you want positioned in Singapore for next week's Asia tour. The G650 or the Bombardier Global 7500. Derek's fork clattered to his plate. The Global, I said. The G650 needs scheduled maintenance. Excellent choice. And one more thing. The FAA finally approved the registration for the new Dassault Falcon you acquired last month. That brings your fleet to 17 aircraft. He smiled. Congratulations, Ms. Martinez. You now own the 3rd largest private aviation fleet in North America. Mom's wine glass tipped over, red wine spreading across the white tablecloth like blood in water. 17, Amanda whispered. Captain Reynolds glanced around the table, seeming to notice the shocked faces for the first time. I'm sorry, am I interrupting something? No, I said calmly. David, this is my family. Everyone, this is Captain Reynolds. He's the chief pilot for my aviation company. Your aviation company, Derek repeated, his voice strangled. Martinez Aviation, I confirmed. We provide private jet services, aircraft management, and charter operations globally. Jennifer found her voice. You own 17 planes? 17 aircraft, Captain Reynolds corrected with professional precision. 9 Gulfstreams of various models for Bombardiers, 3 Dassault Falcons and 1 custom Boeing business jet. Total fleet value is approximately $847 million. The waiter approached, clearly eavesdropping. Excuse me, you're Elena Martinez? From Martinez Aviation. His eyes widened. My brother works at the regional airport. He talks about your company all the time. You're like famous in the aviation world. I keep a low profile, I said. Holy shit, the waiter breathed, then blushed. Sorry, I mean you're the youngest woman to ever build a private aviation empire. You're in all the industry magazines. Can I get a picture? Maybe later, I said gently. This is my father's party. The waiter nodded enthusiastically and backed away, still staring. Dad had stopped talking to Uncle Roberto. Elena? What's going on? I own an aviation company, I explained. Martinez Aviation. We're based here but operate globally. We have offices in New York, Los Angeles, London, Dubai, Singapore and Tokyo. You own a company, Dad said slowly. A company with planes. 17 planes, Derek said, his voice hollow. She owns 17 private jets. Captain Reynolds checked his watch. Ms. Martinez, I really do need that confirmation on Dubai. Go ahead and file the flight plan, I told him. I'll be there by 9. Wait, Mom said. You're flying to Dubai? Tonight? During your father's retirement party. I have a meeting with a client, I explained. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid wants to acquire 3 aircraft for his personal fleet. It's a $200 million deal. I can't reschedule. $200 million, Amanda repeated faintly. The commission alone will be substantial, Captain Reynolds added helpfully. But more importantly, it establishes aviation in the market. Very strategic move, Ms. Martinez. Thank you, David. I'll see you at the hangar. He nodded professionally and left, his uniform drawing stares from every table as he walked through the ballroom. The silence at our family table was deafening. I don't understand, Jennifer finally said. You drive a 15-year-old Honda. You live in a tiny apartment. You dress like someone who doesn't waste money on status symbols, I finished. Yes. But you're rich, Derek said. You own almost $1 billion in aircraft. You could drive anything. Live anywhere. Why would you? Because I don't need to prove anything to anyone, I said simply. My car runs perfectly. My apartment is comfortable. I don't need a Range Rover or a 5-bedroom house to feel successful. How long? Mom asked quietly. How long have you had this company? I started it 12 years ago. Right after I left community college. I used my savings, $50,000 I'd earned working 3 jobs, to get my private pilot's license and my aircraft mechanic certification. Then I worked as a contract pilot for 2 years, saved every penny and bought a used Cessna Citation. 1 small jet. You bought a jet, Dad said, still trying to process. A small one. Old model, needed work. I spent 6 months rebuilding it myself, then chartered it out. Made enough to buy a second plane. Then a third. I reinvested every dollar for the first 8 years. Lived on almost nothing. Built my reputation 1 flight at a time. You rebuilt a jet yourself? Uncle Roberto had been listening from the next seat over. You know how to fix planes? I'm a certified aircraft mechanic. I also have my commercial pilot's license, my helicopter license and my type ratings for 12 different aircraft. I can fly or fix almost anything in my fleet. Derek shook his head. This doesn't make sense. You never told us. You let us think. I let you think exactly what you wanted to think, I interrupted. Every family gathering, every holiday, every phone call. You made assumptions based on what you could see. My old car, my small apartment, my simple clothes. You never asked what I actually did for a living. You just decided I was a failure and treated me accordingly. That's not fair, Mom protested. Isn't it? I looked at her directly. How many times did you suggest I get a real job? How many times did you compare me to Derek and Amanda and their successes? How many times did you apologize to relatives for my situation? She couldn't meet my eyes. You could have told us, Amanda said quietly. We're your family. Why? So you could take credit? So you could tell your friends about your successful sister? So you could ask for loans or investments or special treatment? I shook my head. I built Martinez Aviation without family help, without family connections, without family money. That's exactly how I wanted it. The Sheikh of Dubai meeting, Dad said slowly, his business mind finally catching up. You're meeting with actual royalty. I meet with royalty regularly. Also CEOs, celebrities, politicians. Anyone who needs private aviation services. My client list is confidential, but let's just say that if you've heard of them, they've probably flown with us. The waiter returned with champagne. These are from table 12. They recognized you and wanted to send their congratulations. He set down 4 bottles of Dom Perignon. They said you flew them to their wedding in Bali last year. They said it was the best experience of their lives. Derek stared at the champagne bottles, each one worth more than $500. Tell them thank you, I said to the waiter. And please give them my card. If they need anything in the future, they should call directly. After he left, Jennifer spoke up. Your card says just your name and a phone number. No company name. No title. I prefer it that way. My clients value discretion. How much? Derek asked abruptly. How much are you worth? Derek, Mom said sharply. No, it's a fair question, I said. The company is valued at $1.3 billion. My personal net worth is approximately $890 million after debt and operating costs. I pay myself a modest salary, $120,000 a year, and reinvest the rest into fleet expansion and operations. Amanda did the math on her phone. You're almost a billionaire. You're younger than me and you're almost a billionaire. Success isn't always about age, I said. It's about sacrifice and focus. The sacrifice being that you look poor, Derek said bitterly. The sacrifice being that I didn't waste money trying to impress people who didn't matter. Every dollar I saved went into my business. Every hour I didn't spend shopping or decorating or socializing, I spent learning my industry. While you were buying your third car, I was getting my helicopter license. While you were renovating your house, I was negotiating with aircraft manufacturers. Different priorities. Dad finally spoke and his voice was thick with emotion. I'm proud of you, Mija. I had no idea. All these years I thought. He stopped. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Papa. But why didn't you tell me? I could have helped. I could have. You did help, I said gently. You taught me that honest work matters. That showing up every day matters. That you don't need to be flashy to be successful. You worked for the Postal Service for 42 years and provided everything our family needed. You taught me that real success is building something that lasts. His eyes filled with tears. Martinez Aviation. Named after you, I confirmed. After the man who showed me that integrity and hard work are worth more than status and show. Mom was crying now too. Elena, I'm so sorry. All those times I criticized you, all those times I worried. It's okay, Mama. You wanted what you thought was best for me. But we were so wrong, she sobbed. We were so cruel. You were human, I said. You made assumptions. Everyone does. Derek still looked stunned. I called you poor. I said you couldn't afford gas money. I said you were an embarrassment to the family. You did, I agreed. And you just sat there. Why didn't you defend yourself? Because I didn't need to. I know who I am and what I've built. Your opinion doesn't change that. Jennifer was scrolling through her phone. Oh my God. There are articles about you. Forbes, Fortune, Business Insider. They call you the mystery mogul because you refuse interviews. She looked up. You turned down being on the cover of Forbes. 3 times, I confirmed. I don't need publicity. My clients know who I am. That's enough. This is insane, Amanda said. Your life is completely different than what we thought. My life is exactly what I built it to be, I corrected. Intentional. Private. Successful on my own terms. Captain Reynolds returned, approaching the table more hesitantly this time. Ms. Martinez, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but we have a situation. The client in Moscow moved up their timeline. They need the aircraft positioned by tomorrow morning. I checked my phone. Which plane? The Bombardier Global 7500. Where is it now? Los Angeles. Captain Morrison can fly it, but we'll need your authorization for the crew overtime and international fees. Approved. Tell Morrison to file for Moscow immediately. I stood up, pulling out my wallet and handing him a company credit card. Fuel, fees, whatever he needs. Have Sarah send me the final numbers. Yes, ma'am. He hesitated. Ma'am, the Sheik's team also just confirmed they want to tour all 3 aircraft options tomorrow in Dubai. Should I have the others positioned there as well? No, I'll show them virtually during the meeting. If they want to see them in person, we can arrange flights to the aircraft. More impressive to show them we have planes stationed globally. Excellent strategy. He smiled. You really are the best in the business. After he left, I turned to my family. I need to go. My helicopter is waiting at